Welcome to the first episode of Cut the Money Gap. We are so thrilled and excited to be here because three professionals from different walks of life are coming together to put this collaboration that's very much needed and valuable in today's world. So, we have a lot to share with you about who we are and why we're doing this. And to start, I think it's a good idea to start by introducing ourselves. So, my name is Azil, and I'm a financial therapist, and I'm in this beautiful collaboration with Brian and Omar, who are going to introduce themselves now. Brian, why don't you start telling us who you are, what you do, and what's your story?
Sure. Thanks, Cecile. So my name is Brian Bogart. I am a wealth coach. I live just outside Toronto. And really, for me, it's about empowering and educating people about building wealth and investing and finances. And that all stemmed because, in my own story, I was living a life that most people would look at and think was fantastic, but I wasn't all that satisfied. I was working in the corporate world. I was really doing the status quo kind of life, and it didn't work for me. It turned out the person I was sitting beside at work was investing in real estate, and he introduced me to that world. I managed to retire from the corporate 9 to 5 when I was 37 years old, and then went on to invest, create financial freedom for myself, and now I help other people create that. And that's what I bring to this team, is talking about that sort of money side of it and the investing side of it, because Asil, who's going to tell you a little bit more about what she does on the financial therapy side, and then Omar as a real estate professional, and the three of us together just wind up making a great team. So Omar, why don't you take it from there and tell the folks what your specialty is?
Hey, Brian, thank you. My name is Omar Samad. I am a broker of record in a real estate company, Royal LePage Signature, Samad Homes. And we've been in the business for over a decade, thinking about being outside the box and how we can educate our clients versus just telling them what to do, empowering them with knowledge and allowing them to make the decision themselves and guiding them throughout the whole process. This collaboration came to me through a seal, and we thought to ourselves, why don't we bring in a beautiful trio of the three of us, be able to add value to the consumer and allow them to know a more holistic approach to what's a good way to invest in yourself and invest in your finances.
And this is Asil again. And my story was similar to Brian's in the sense that I stemmed from the corporate world. I used to be a financial planner in the Canadian banks, and I help people with the practical, logical pieces of money, investing strategies, thinking about future goals, and aligning savings and investments to fulfill these goals. And the longer I spent time in the corporate world, the more I realized that a lot of our money issues are emotional, and you simply cannot fix an emotional issue with a logical plan. And I started having a desire to add more tools to my toolbox to truly make an impact in people's financial situations. And I realized to do that, I needed to go back to school to study psychotherapy and tackle this whole area of money from a completely different angle, incorporating the psychological and the emotional sides of it. So this is why I started my company, Holistic Optimal Wealth, as of March 2020. A very ironic year to start a business, and yet it's a very important milestone because it's really raising our consciousness in what this area of money is all about and how can we truly embrace abundance in ways that match our values. So this is my mission, is to heal people's relationship with money and help them build a life that truly fulfills them. So we're here to discuss with you what the Cut the Money Gap is all about. And for that, Brian is going to let us know about this initiative.
So the three of us really came together, just after Asil started her company, and this was just after the pandemic had hit, and a lot of people were stressed out and feeling a ton of anxiety and uncertainty. And the three of us came together and we're discussing, like, what can we do to help ourselves and help others. And I know I always feel better when I'm able to help other people. And so the three of us just really made a commitment to start talking and sharing. And we've come up with the name Cut the Money Gap now because we realize that we've just been able to cut through so much of the noise and the headlines and the negativity and the crap that was out there that was causing people to feel so much anxiety and fear. You know, we used to talk a lot about yes, there was a global health pandemic, but the global financial pandemic was 100 times as great. Many more people were affected by this financial uncertainty. So the three of us are committed to educating and empowering, sharing our experiences. We are not gurus. We don't know everything, but we have experience. We share about that in the areas that we have specialty, myself in investing, Omar in real estate, Asil in that financial therapy and coming from that financial planning background. And what we're looking to do is help people cut through that noise and cut that money gap so that they can start to implement things to reach their goals, to move the ball forward down the field in their own financial world. And that's really what the three of us are absolutely committed to. And you know, in this journey over the past 6 months of sharing, we've always been looking at how are we going to best serve the people who are listening, the people who are following our community. And we came up with this idea of relaunching ourselves with a podcast. So I'm going to pass this over to Omar now, and he's going to share with you guys what makes this Cut the Money Gap different and this podcast different than the hundreds of other podcasts that you have available to you right now.
So with Cut the Money Gap, the main premise was that we wanted to provide a theoretical, a practical, and a mindful way of providing information, where you get to see topics that we deal with in a very real and authentic way, and discuss what's happening on the ground, what is the strategy of it, and also what kind of mindset you need in order to keep steering clear and continue to grow. Our podcast is basically going to be a conversational podcast between three professionals going through topics that are selected by our client, by the attendees and by the viewers, for the viewers, and where we're able to engage with our viewers and deal with some topics that may be affecting their lives or coming in the way or slowing them down, and just have a conversation and be real and be authentic. Asil, what are your things? What do you look forward the most with this podcast?
Sure. I think it's a very interesting points that we're talking about already. But another thing that makes us truly different is the fact that we have an integration of professional outlook on things, and we offer different perspectives because we have an open dialogue about the headlines and what these headlines mean on a practical level. Because we're approaching these things from a conversational tone, it's easier for the audience to relate and to understand how these things impact them, but also to walk away with strategies that we're going to be sharing and tools and resources so that they can feel empowered, not just with the knowledge, but how this knowledge can be translated into actionable steps that can be integrated into their lives moving forward. And that's what excites me. It's really translating this knowledge into practical steps that we can absolutely see our clients implement in their lives. And this is really what we do on a day-to-day basis. But the ability to have this podcast would broaden our reach and make these tools available to a bigger audience. And that's what really excites me. So I'm going to share with the listeners now what to expect from us. What we're going to be doing is...
Wait a minute, Asil. I want to disagree with you about something before we go any further. And that's just something else I wanted to share. Because one of the other things that I think makes this podcast unique is the fact that we don't always agree, right? Sometimes I say something and you jump in and challenge me on that from your perspective, or Omar will say something and I'll ask him, well, wait a minute, have you considered this when it comes to real estate or investing or that sort of thing? So, that's something else I wanted to bring to it. And it was a good little setup we did here. Did you see what we did? Did you like that, folks? Where we don't always agree with each other. We're bringing different opinions. We're bringing different perspectives, and we're going to challenge each other because we are so passionate and committed to bringing out that the truth and educating and empowering people from those different perspectives. So I just wanted to throw that one in there as well, Asil. Now get back and tell them what can they expect from us over the next few weeks.
Absolutely, great point. This is really a snapshot of what our conversations look like. They're real, they're not rehearsed. We're showing up vulnerably, and we're sharing not just the work we do, but we're sharing who we are in every sense of the word, because who we are is a big part of what we do anyways, and we don't have a differentiator between that. So great point, Brian, and I truly appreciate that, because the truth is subjective and there's no one answer that fits all. Everybody has a very unique set of circumstances that they're dealing with, and our goal is simply to give them as much information as possible so that their decisions are based on educated, calculated things that they took into consideration versus emotional and impulsive things that are reactive to headlines that don't necessarily make sense and are sometimes not true. So this
Drum roll. We're gonna tell everybody what to expect from us.
yeah, what to expect from us moving forward. You're gonna have a weekly episode about a specific topic. Usually, it's a wealth creation idea, but it falls under these three categories. It's either real estate related, financial therapy related, or investment ideas from Brian and discussed by all of us. So investments, real estate, and the relationship you have with money and wealth, which is ultimately the mindset and the psychology behind it all. So this is ultimately a mix between psychology and strategy, if you will. But what's also exciting is not just the episodes that you have the opportunity to download and listen to anywhere and anytime at your own pace, but also the live events that we're going to be doing once a month, which is going to happen at the last Wednesday of every month. So every Wednesday we'll be trickling down our content that's pre-recorded for you to watch at your own pace. But the last Wednesday of every month is our live event where you get to interact with us, ask us questions, and we get to really drive our points home because we bring real life examples of how these theories that we've been sharing with you really apply and show up in someone's life. So the live event is something we truly encourage you to attend, because that's where you can ask things that are personal to you and get an opportunity to learn from others and also whatever's shared on the podcast. Anything else you gentlemen would like to add before we wrap up and release our first introduction to this beautiful initiative?
I just want to say how excited I am about this. For me personally, when we were sharing back in the spring and the first few months of this pandemic, I felt like I was fulfilling on my purpose of helping people and creating more freedom in people's lives. And so I'm honored to be doing this with you guys, and I'm just so excited and so happy to be able to have this format and share with people. And we've already been interacting with audience members. People have been reaching out to us, asking questions. They were on an event we had a week ago. I'm so excited to meet more people, talk with them, get to know them, and learn from them as well. Because it's not like we are we know everything. We're learning from the people as well. So I'm really excited for this, guys.
And
Yeah.
I'm most excited about getting your feedback and digging in and trying to see how we can cut through the noise, cut through the gap, and cut through the bullshit. So I'm really excited, guys. And I hope you had a great first session. And please tell us what you want us to focus on and what you want us to talk about more.
Enjoy the rest of your day.